You want to listen to a podcast?
By who?
Georgia GOP Congressman Doug Collins.
How is it?
The greatest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
I could not believe my ears.
In this house, wherever the rules are disregarded, chaos and mob rule. It has been said today, where is bravery? I'll tell you where bravery is found and courage is found. It's found in this minority who has lived through the last year of nothing but rules being broken, people being put down, questions not being answered. And this majority say, be damned with anything else. We're going to impeach and do whatever we want to do. Why? Because we won an election. I guarantee you, one day you'll be back in the minority and it ain't gonna be that fun. Hey everybody, welcome back to Doug Collins Podcast. Yes, it's Friday's finest. We're ready for it. We've had a good week. I hope you've enjoyed the first two episodes this week. We've had went into depth on the Senate races. I've gotten a lot of good comments, some emails, and text messages from folks wanting to look at. One of the comments was talking about Arizona and Nevada, and we did go into those races earlier. And yeah, I believe those are going to be the sort of the key pivotal races, is depending on who runs, how they run. I mean, the Senate race in Arizona was Sinema and Gallego, and then whoever the Republican will definitely be an interesting one, just mainly to see how the left splits their vote there with Sinema and Gallego. So, and then of course Nevada is just a changing state. It was really interesting. I read an article after we taped on the episode for Nevada that, of course, has Masto, the senator from who beat Laxalt last year in the race, actually was able to improve the Latino turnout and vote, and it was really what carried her to victory in that, whereas GOP held but didn't gain. I thought that was an interesting insight in that. So if you really like to get wonky with demographics, that's something to think about. The GOP didn't lose any Latino support in these areas, but in Nevada, with Cortez Masto actually putting a lot of time, energy into keeping that Hispanic vote, was able to turn that vote out and actually increase it a little bit, and that's what it did there. So, again, thanks for all the feedback there. Go to the DougCollinsPodcast.com. You can hit the email button there. Please send in your feedback. Love to hear from you today. But today, Friday's Finest in just a few minutes. After the break, we'll come back with Friday's Finest. James and I will let you through all the fun stories of this week and talk in depth on some interesting issues coming up. But one last thing before we get going, it is amazing to me, and you've heard me say it on this podcast before, if you choose to do something, fine. If you want to choose to identify some way, if you want to do that, I may not agree with it. In fact, I probably don't agree with it. But in our country, you're free to make a decision, even if it is a wrong one, in my opinion, or maybe even a wrong one in others. But this idea that you're forcing others to believe like you is becoming more and more of a problem. And this White House seems to be, it is amazing to me that the White House goes out of their way to emphasize the far left causes, or to lift up, if you would, minority right, Pride Week, Pride Month, transgender rights, and seemingly that has become their only focus. I mean, when you look at it in the fact that the White House did not do any special decoration for Memorial Day, Easter, anything else, but yet for Pride Month, they actually, in my opinion and many opinion, actually misuse the U.S. flag code by putting a pride flag in the middle of two flags at equal height, and not in the U.S. flag not in the middle. That's just wrong. The White House came out with this weak excuse saying, "Oh, the flag above the White House was the tallest flag." Come on, no picture showed that. Okay, and even if you say that is right, you're stretching to make it there. This administration, if people wonder why Joe Biden has such a terrible rating besides just the general job performance, just look at things like this. Most Americans, where you go, are generally, I believe, not everyone, good people who just want to get up, go to work, take care of their families, make a living, go on vacation, and relax on a weekend. They don't want the government forcing ideas upon them, especially to getting into the lives of what parents and others are looking at. So again, and then you have a Pride Day ceremony at the White House in which you have a guy who's transgender flashing breast. And then the White House said, well, he's going to be banned. Folks, if you don't get this, and then it is something that is just disturbing. I think it was DeSantis or somebody actually, brought up the point that Biden was asked about to reading one of these banned books. They won't read them, but if the White House won't read the banned books in a setting, then why should they, be read to those age kids. I mean, I'm one of the furthest away from banning books, but age appropriateness is right too. Again, folks, these are the kind of things that we deal with here on the show, but not on Fridays. I just wanted to point that out. We'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. But today is Friday's Finest. It's time to get into the weird, the fun, and the just unusual of the world around us. So we'll be back in just a minute. James and I'll be ready to go. Hey, everybody, you know about Legacy Precious Metals. Legacy Precious Metals, you hear from them. We talk once a month. We talk about Legacy Precious Metals, talking about precious metals being part of your portfolio, how they're your navigator. Well, now they're not only navigating in a new way, they're actually giving you a new way to buy gold and silver. In fact, Legacy Precious Metals has developed a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in real gold and silver online. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped to your door. I'm more of a ship to my door kind of person. I enjoy having them with me, but they can do it either way, and you can now do it online. It gives you real access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time, anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar. This puts you in complete control of your money. This platform is free to sign up for. Just visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and is against a volatile stock market. A true diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but a different asset class. This platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Remember, do as I have done. Go to legacypminvestments.com and get started today. And now you've got a new tool to help you along in your investments. Hey folks, MyPillow is excited to bring to you their biggest bedding sale ever. For a limited time, you're going to get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98, and rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. $99.99, get a mattress pillow topper. Look, they come in all sizes. They got all kinds of stuff, blankets. They've got duvets. They've got quilts. They got comforters. They got body pillows. They got bolster pillows. They got all at big, big discounts. And also, they're extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1, 2023, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and for everyone you know. Folks, and just from a personal note here, I have the Giza Dream sheets. They're on my bed right now. I slept on them last night. Some of the best sheets that we and Lisa and I have ever owned. They are worth, at this price, they're a steal. My wife and I have bought bed sheets, linens at much higher cost. It's supposedly much higher quality. These from MyPillow are at the highest of quality, and at a price like this, you can't beat it. So go now to mypillow.com, use promo code Collins, COLLINS, or call 1-800-986-3994, and you'll get huge discounts on all the MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, and get all your shopping done while qualities last. And remember, put in that promo code Collins for these discounts. All right, now, off the heavy stuff, on to the good stuff. James and Doug here. James by our Texan by way of New Jersey. Good morning, James. How we doing?
Good morning. Good morning. How are we, Doug?
Oh, we're doing well. We're doing well. Been a crazy week. Been traveling a lot. Had Air Force duty this week, and going to be traveling next week. For those of you who want to catch the live version of Doug Collins, you'll see me next week. I'll be in New York and D.C., but New York I'll be on Fox and Newsmax numerous times next week. Be on Outnumbered on Tuesday at 12. If you tune in at 12, love to see you there. And on some other shows as well. So looking forward to traveling up into your old stomping grounds there, James.
Well, you don't have to make me feel bad that you did all this stuff and you're doing all this stuff, and I've just been home in New Jersey, in Dallas, with 105-degree weather trying to hide. It's been so disgusting here too. I saw some. It was so strange. I saw somebody talking about how it was a video of them complaining about the Dallas weather as if they had no idea what they were walking into. What planet are people on? They don't know. They and I know they were probably doing it to get some clicks and likes and all that stuff, but just the idea that you'd be like, I can't believe how hot it is. What, you moved to Texas. Every movie you've ever seen is about Texas. They show the sun and then a crow crying and then that guitar string sound. And then it's just the hottest people just pouring with sweat. That's the image of Texas. I don't know. I just think it's so silly.
It is fun. I mean, you think about Texas, it's either going to be it's going to be hot and dry and windy during this, or except for thunderstorms and tornadoes during the summer, and it's going to be cold and windy and dry and for the most part except for ice storms in the winter. I mean, you're in the middle of the country. You're coming off the Rocky Mountains. It's coming off the side, coming off the lower Pacific, coming up those storm systems coming through there. I mean, you see it all the time.
Well, there are three things everybody knows about Texas: Cowboys, the Heat, and football.
Yep.
And by Cowboys, I mean actual Cowboys, not the team. Nobody
Well, I
cares.
mean,
about
and
them.
then when you get to football, they try. So
High school football more than anything, which is
I
crazy.
agree with that. Yeah, I mean, when you got
Listen, I know my friend's dad. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I mean, you're talking about you got 12,000, 15,000 seat stadiums for high school.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Jersey, we had Don Bosco, which was a big deal. That's right by my house, and plenty of NFL players went through there, and their prep school, and blah blah blah. We didn't care nearly as much as people care about football down here. And I know that people have said that a million times, but you can see it. The high school games are sold out. Like it's crazy now. It's crazy.
Yeah, thus Friday Night Lights and
That's real. Yeah, exactly. That's real.
It's real kind of stuff. Well, it is, and you get it. But the one thing I think it was interesting. I was talking about weather. I was telling somebody about weather here in Georgia in the last little bit. I said I was in at Air Force at Robbins Air Force Base, and then here is we sort of changed over the last few years, especially in North Georgia. We have not been getting as much what I call thunderstorms, and we get rain and we get something. But I remember growing up and that we would get real big thunder boomers coming through and rain, and it's sort of interesting over the last we went a long time with really having a few but not having a lot, and then in the last like a year or so it's been starting. Like last night we just we got thunderstorms last night and got deluge with rain. So it's weather patterns are weather patterns. For all these people, what was it? What's their name? Greta, the girl who's out, I think personally being abused.
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, Greta Thunberg, who posted, what was it, in 2017, that in 5 years the world will be coming to an end. Well, that's this year. Thanks, Greta. I don't think we're going anywhere yet. Of course, James, I go back to remember, the bastion of journalism in the 70s. Of course, you had the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others, but you had the Inquirer and the Sun and all. And the big stories back then were the hole in the ozone and that we were going to freeze to death.
I wasn't alive for that, Doug. Don't remember a damn thing.
Yeah, it's just, are you kidding me? So anyway, I think at the end of the day, it's just wild.
The only doomsday I remember is when in 2012, when there was like actual people who believed that because of a calendar made by the Mayans, I'm not even going to guess how long ago it was, but like I remember 2012, and I remember obviously not everybody believed it, but like 2012, I graduated high school the year before, and I remember people walking around like, it could happen. I'm like, okay, if it does, it does, but like, are you being serious right now? Like, you're an adult.
Well, yeah, well, you're really too young to remember all the hype for the most part around the 2000, the Y2K.
Yeah, I was a kid. I remember it being crazy, and I remember even teachers were kind of like losing it. But I remember it was weird at school. Like I was 2000, so I was 7 years old. But I remember it being weird. Like I know that sounds insane because I was 7, and what the hell can I remember from when I'm 7? But like the whole event was just like, I remember we were coming because it was obviously wintertime. And I remember they were like, should we go to school or not? They were actually debating if people should go to school.
Well, they is that the good part about it is on a holiday where they wasn't sure, but I mean, they actually, curtailed, airline flights. There was, all kinds of stuff going on because they didn't know what. It was really weird. As our first encounter with something we had not thought about in computering and the computer, 0 and 1s kind of thing. Is it what happens if we've never they had never accounted for it. So it was really, like I said, you get all kinds of doomsday stuff. I remember the way I remember Y2K actually happening is I actually got pneumonia like 2 days beforehand, and I was sick as a dog. I mean, I was hurting, my chest was hurting, and I was up at night. I remember where we was at my father-in-law's house, because we were in between. We were building a house, and we'd sold our other one. And so I watched the new year come in, and it was like, well, nothing happened. And then everything just went back to normal.
Yeah, people were panicking.
Oh, yeah, big time.
There was no reason for it. And then I remember we all went back, because what was it? To January, 5th or 6th you go back to school? 4th, maybe? I don't remember. It was not that long after the first, and we all were like bundled up, and everyone was just talking about, it's 2000, what do we do? And I remember being like, okay,
yeah,
it's 2000. just that whole like idea that changed. Yeah.
Well, at this point in time, everything seems to be going along as normal at this point. So we're moving right along to this week. This week we finally got rid of the NBA season and the NHL season. Praise the Lord, past the grits.
Whoa! I have nothing to watch right now because the Mets suck. Don't say that it's finally over. The NBA season being over. First of all, the NBA season never ends because they're already talking about trades. Listen, it's already trade season now, and it's coming. It's all coming right now. But
you got the draft next week too for NBA.
Yeah, and a bunch of. I'm telling you, I'm all in. I could talk about basketball. I could watch basketball. I'm gonna watch at some point the WNBA at this point. That's.
Well, okay, wow. We need to get you out on one of the ranches out there in Dallas. I mean, come on now. If you're confessing on the Friday's Finest that we're going to watch WNBA,
I'll watch any basketball anytime. Okay, I if somebody's like, hey, my nephew's got a game, he's 6. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Well, anyway, let's give props to the Denver Nuggets, the new NBA reigning champions. By the way, I heard this statistic, because you know basketball far better than I did. The 5 different champions in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's the NBA.
I don't think it's necessarily been 5. Has it been 5 different teams, or has it just been nobody repeated?
So it's 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23. Yeah, no, all different. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Then why are there still why is there still all this discussion? I'm asking here, maybe for listeners who are riding down the road, maybe wondering this or not. Then why still all the discussion of the Golden State being the dynasty and all the others, if they haven't won it in 5 years, or won in 5 years?
No one wants to let go, because 2019 they were in the NBA Finals, and then Kevin Durant left, and they kind of fell to pieces when guys got hurt. Klay Thompson wasn't back for a few years, but them winning in last year was so insane because kind of nobody saw it coming. But listen, people just need to talk about the dynasties that were, and that, they had a great run. Every so often we have those great runs. Excuse me, but there's a ton of parity right now. But I can tell you this, it should be the Denver Nuggets for the future. I mean, it should be theirs for the next few years. There hasn't been a team that won in the West that wasn't from Dallas, that wasn't from Texas or California, since the Supersonics did it in 1979.
Oh, wow. That's all. Well, considering Denver had never won.
Denver's never won. No.
This was their first.
Yeah, when they were close when they were in the ABA. They lost to the Nets back then, but when they came to the NBA, they've had a couple of good runs, but nothing that compares to this. It's perfect storm this week.
My funniest part, though, I think for those of us who also have, on my side of the fence, so here in opposed to James' side of the fence that has NBA fatigue, I think Djokovic is actually on my side of this. We're going to play a clip here of him after winning the game and finding out that there was a parade Thursday. Play the clip. I mean, James, you got to love it. Just let the guy
He
go
wants to go
home.
home and
Let him
race
go
his
home to
horses.
his horses in Serbia.
You know what's funny is there's another clip, Doug, that I'm going to have to play at the parade
Okay.
where he says, I know yesterday I said I don't want to come to parade, but today I love the parade. And it was such like an enlightening moment amongst the crowd. Like it went crazy. I'll have to bleep it out because he cursed, but yeah, he's just
No, I think here, but you just led into something though that okay, I'm going to show my age a little bit and more of my okay for all out there fuddy duddy, whatever you want to call. I don't care, but I think these parades have gotten out of hand.
oh yeah, they've gotten out of hand. I still love them, but they're crazy.
I mean, okay, I mean, really, they used to be the parades. You know, you'd have it and they'd go down and give a speech and everything, but now it's really disturbing to me. Okay, and again, maybe it's. I'm not imposing my morality. I'm just saying from my perspective, it's okay if they got champagne. You know, I know they probably had a few beers beforehand. Maybe they got shots or what. But the coach yesterday on the stage, you know, I was watching a video of this. I caught a clip after and they're passing around the mini bottles, which look like, you know, I'm not sure what they were, Fireball or whatever. They're passing around the mini bottles. And they're turning them up on stage and chugging. And then what we saw with the Kansas City parade, where most of them were just flat out drunk.
Yeah, they're all hammered.
I mean,
every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, James. I mean, look, I just don't see how that's good.
All right.
I don't see any good that comes of that.
I don't disagree with you in the fact that they are getting. I just think the difference is that they weren't as covered as they are now. So years ago.
Well, I remember Atlanta when Atlanta won their, you know, World Series, even, you know, I mean,
right. But what I'm saying is those guys were drunk, but the drunk guys stayed out of the spotlight. What I'm saying is
exactly
right where they kept everything. Now they don't mind because people are fully accepting of it. So now the whole team is hammered. Mike Malone
but
getting
how
that
can
drunk.
You be accepting of that?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to beat this horse forever, but how is that acceptable when you got young kids?
Yeah.
Who see their heroes wasted?
Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, I'm not trying to hide this. I'm not trying to be, you know, Puritan here. I mean, kids see their parents drunk. I mean, I get that. But these are, I'm sorry, I still attest to the old adage that if you are to whom much is given, much is required. And you have the ability to play basketball for a living. You won a title. There are young men and young women who look at this and say, that's the acceptable route. That is what I should be.
They know that I think the thing is that it's been accepted. So like we like we want to see it. We want to see the players drunk, the coaches drunk. We like the majority wants to see it happen. And since social media is everything, guys are like, yeah, they don't care. Like now I don't have to hide it. I mean, Tom Brady was so drunk that he threw the championship trophy off a boat. Like I'm just saying, like I hear what you're saying because you're regardless. I mean, I've when I was younger, I used to say like it's not their job to be a role model, and as I've gotten older, I'm like, well, they don't really have a choice because they've been put in that position. You're right.
I mean, you don't. I mean, it's like politicians. It's like others, and there's there's certain places. I mean, my problem with this is they won this Tuesday night or Monday night.
They won Monday night. And they're still drunk Thursday morning.
Well, on Monday night. This is Thursday. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, and again, if you want to write me an email, shoot me a text, whatever, I don't care. Go to DougCollinsPodcast.com, hit that little email button. God bless you. Write your little heart away. Okay. But the promotion here to me is you've had all this time. You can go to any club, you can go to your house, you can go, but you're in public with the city that you play in, and you can't even give a speech. Some of these guys because they're slurring their words so bad.
Oh yeah, It was
and we're trying to, and we look at this and we look at our communities, we look at our young people. Well, who was it? Was it Barkley or Kobe? I can't remember which one. Was at a high school, and all the kids wanted to be pro athletes. None of them wanted to go to college and be a doctor or a scientist or anything else. And it's just reinforcing that this is okay.
Yeah.
And to me, like I said, look, you don't. You choose whatever you want to choose, but is that the choice that you want to make? And I don't know. It to me, with the NBA, the I don't know what the Vegas party will be. It's still coming. So, but with the NBA,
the NHL parties for like 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, NHL, NBA, and Denver had people killed. This is another part. These idiots are shooting guns. But the league doesn't say anything. NBA doesn't say anything about it. NFL doesn't say anything about it.
And they're not gonna, because they're getting clicks and it's all good.
Yeah, well,
they're making too much money off of it.
Though, it's bad when even sometimes the commentators are just sort of trying to do a story about it and then move off of it. Like I said, I'm going to leave my rant there, but at a certain point in time,
that's okay. Listen. That's again, we're talking about. I think again, we're now in the era where that's just going to be the norm, because what happened was it all started with the Capitals, as far as like dudes being totally blacked out.
Yeah,
like the Capitals won their fight. They I think Ovechkin partied for like 4 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And not to joke around about it, but like he was having a good time and the people accepted it and so on and so forth. Mike Malone just won his first championship. They're going to give him the love. So don't expect it to change anytime soon.
No, and again, but here's the other part. Then as a society, then don't turn around and gripe about the lowering of expectations, decency, and everything else. Don't, and look, I'm one of those that actually believe there's a whole correlation here between, service and other things that you have going on in your community, that when nothing is wrong, everything is right kind of mentality, then you're going to have a problem.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And, and if someone and we've talked about this before on our other editions, I look back at this as young people believe this is the way life is supposed to be lived. Instagram life, it is the Twitter life. It's, and again, I sound like an old man here. I get it. That loud music and I'm with it. But look, I'm the same guy who rides down the road blaring Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and turn back up to to Eminem and everything else. I get it, okay. But at a certain point in time, our military is lacking recruits who can either be eligible to go in the military or want to go in the military. Our workplace, we can't find people to do regular jobs. And, there's this idea out there that I can just sit on a keyboard and become Twitter click and Twitter rich and YouTube famous. And then you have, these parades in which this is what is glorified, not the fact that they just won their first championship, not the fact that Jokovic came from such an interesting background in his life, and that Malone won his first title. The only thing I don't even know about Malone, don't know him that well. Yeah. Again, I'm not a big NBA guy, but now the inbred image into my mind is him sitting there on a stage as he is the coach.
Yeah.
Turning up a mini bottle.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess again, I think it is. It could just be a generation thing too. But you brought something up that I don't know how where it stands on this whole thing. But you're talking about people not being able to work regular jobs, and the Instagram clicks and everything, which leads back to the Malone stuff that. They're going to post that 100 times. That's actually ends up being good for the NBA and eventually, right? But talking about people not being able
to... I have a question for you. As an NBA fan, have you seen the latest statistics that the last 4 NBA finals have been some of the lowest TV rated? Yeah. And that even, I think there's even more clicks. There's even more watches of the WNBA.
Yeah, there's I don't have a problem with that stuff, only because we're in a world of highlights and people don't care. Honestly, like it's 7 games, and I don't know how much they're factoring in everything. But I get
Yeah.
it. Like they're not listen. There's the one part of it where it's not on TNT, and I think that's their biggest problem. The idea that I have to listen
Yeah.
to Jalen Rose and those guys talk and Jalen Rose, I think on his own is great, but when a group of people, I think it doesn't make sense. But I also think that people stream it differently and whatnot. But again, the numbers don't matter because they'll never lose out. The NBA will never lose. Baseball will never
Well,
lose.
the interesting part, yeah, well, and again, I have their problem with them kowtowing to China and other places. Well, but I
Oh,
will
for
have to
sure.
say this: the best pregame or postgame, whatever it is, with Shaq, Barkley,
Kenny and Ernie. Yeah.
Kenny, and Ernie, that's gold.
Well, I know they have a deal with ESPN and that's fine, but like if I whatever contract comes up, if I am see the problem is contract's not coming up anytime soon. And there's the idea that the NBA Finals doesn't have Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and Ernie is killing them
Yeah,
because nobody watches the halftime. Nobody cares.
yeah, no, I watch. I mean, and again, I'm like you. I don't watch it enough, but I will watch the highlights of that halftime show.
Oh yeah, you'll watch the highlights of that halftime show. Who says that?
Nobody.
That's on in any sport known to man. The last time there was a clip was when the people watched over again with John Sterling just getting rocked in the face the other day with that baseball.
Yankees win! Yankees win! Yankees win!
He got hit so hard. I love John Sterling as a native New Jerseyan, but when he got hit, I laughed so hard, and I know that sounds horrible, but I don't know. I'll laugh at even my own mother. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'll laugh at anyone anytime. We were at this was when I was younger. My mother was walking and she tripped over a giant spotlight, and I didn't go get her or pick her up. I just started laughing. And the guy that was there was like a podium. You were supposed to sign up for something. He goes, "You're horrible. You're not picking up your mother." I'm like, "This is the 4th time she's fallen in the last few years. Let me get my giggles in, and then we can pick her up together, huh?"
I love it.
No, but anyway, yeah. So go ahead.
I love it. All right. Well, moving along from our my rant on post celebration championships. I want to move on to something also rather large that happened this week. Oh, by the way, give props to Vegas. Vegas won their first. It's pretty cool. An NBA franchise and an NHL franchise won the titles in their league for the first time. Maybe there's hope for Atlanta. Who knows? Falcons, by the way, which
I know
I have no hope in at this point. I'm not even going to revisit the draft, so we're moving right along. Anyway, but one thing I will point out, and we'll talk a little bit of time today, is SEC football. Everybody's been getting on SEC football because they didn't go to the 9-game schedule. They went to the 8-game schedule with Oklahoma and Texas coming in 2024. Now, this week they released the schedules for the 8 games that are required under the SEC. Now, most people, before the Big Ten, I mean, look, I'm so sick. All right, here we go. Big Ten,
rant number 2.
Shut up. Okay, I don't care. Oh yeah, well, we're better top to bottom than the SEC. No, you're not. Just shut up. Okay? No. I mean, look, for every Vanderbilt, you got Northwestern and Nebraska. Okay, come on, shut up. All right. The atmosphere in the South is a whole different network. Look, I'm at least putting Big Ten as one of the big 2, okay? But don't complain to me about they only play in 9 games. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I just don't. I mean, when the top 25, the preseason top 25 right now has 40% of the top 25 is from the SEC, I quit. Okay, I can't help you. Okay, but that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the schedules that have now developed. And by the way, they're doing away with the East and West divisions in the SEC. So it's not the top 2 will be in the SEC championship game. So let's take a look. Alabama at home in 2024 has Auburn, Georgia, Missouri, and South Carolina. They go on the road for LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. About normal for them, to be honest. But here's one that is rather interesting. Georgia has Auburn at home. Florida is not technically at home. It's a neutral site field. Mississippi State and Tennessee between the hedges. Here's their road schedule. They're going to Tuscaloosa. They're going to Lexington for Kentucky. They're going to Ole Miss. And they're going to Texas. Interesting. LSU has Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Vandy at home, Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, Texas A&M on the road. By the way, Texas and Texas A&M are back on schedule with each other.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Everybody is saying Florida. Sort of the consensus has been coming out that Florida has the toughest of this schedule. I'm going to just be frank. I disagree, but I'll let you be the determination. Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M at home, Georgia, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Texas on the road.
I would just assume they just don't think Florida is going to be as good, and those teams are tough.
Yeah,
like Florida's just not going to be as good, so they think they're going to, it's like throwing lambs to the wolves.
Yeah. Oh, here's an interesting one. Oh, Missouri. Missouri and Texas A&M, both the old Southwest Conference, Big 12, whatever. Missouri now has Oklahoma back on schedule.
Should be fun. This sounds fun to me, Doug. I think that competition committee.
I think it's going to be.
I think they know what they're doing.
Well, compared to what was it? Everybody says, how is it in the world in a world in which you do have, even if you concede that the SEC is the dominant league, in a world in which Georgia here's one. Georgia has never, if I'm not mistaken here, I don't think Georgia has ever went to Texas A&M.
Like in the history of Georgia?
Since they joined the SEC. And that's been almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
Now somebody fact check me. You fact check me if you want to send it in the email.
I'm trying.
I'm almost positive Texas A&M has come to Georgia. I know at least once, but I'm not sure Georgia has went to Kyle Field.
Yeah, so I see that Texas A&M looks like November 23rd, 2019. Georgia beat them 19-13.
Yeah,
that's the only one I see.
They came to Georgia. I don't think they've. I heard that, and I hadn't had a chance to really fact check. But then, I watched Georgia, so I don't. Going to Kyle Field would be a big deal.
It says 3 wins, 3 losses. So let's see. Home record is 2-1. Away record is 1-2. I'm trying to see here.
And again, have they ever?
Okay, here we go. The last time that Georgia played in Dallas, Texas, was September 13th, 1953.
Well, see,
which was technically a neutral site.
Yeah, because that's
it was 54 they played in Athens. Then the next time they played was 1980 in Athens. And then 2009 is Shreveport, Louisiana, so it was a neutral site. And then 2019 was in Athens again.
Let's see here. Texas A&M. Let's see, this is back in 2019 is the only year, by the way, they played as a member of the SEC.
Right, because before that it was 09 and 1980 and then the 50s. So no one cares about the 50s.
And again, Texas A&M has always came to
They've never actually played at their stadium, like for anything.
Yeah, here it is.
Apparently Dallas was
Georgia will have to wait till 2024 to finally play at Kyle Field. 2024. I mean, look, I get it. Here's some interesting games people have thrown out. I'll get your take on these as we go. Most exciting games to look for. Again, Georgia, Alabama, of course, they've played recently. So, I mean, this is not as a new one, but I mean, they'll be playing outside the regular season. Here's an interesting stat for you. Georgia, Alabama, outside the SEC championship game is only the fifth time they played in 20 years.
Yeah.
Outside
Which
the
I don't
SEC.
understand why that was the case, but yeah.
You got Texas and Texas A&M. They've not played since 2011. Tennessee, Oklahoma. This will be interesting because Heupel's being there. Oklahoma, Missouri. That'll be an interesting one. Well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the Georgia Texas A&M game in 2024. Look, I'm not sure that what's his name's going to still be there. Jimbo's still going to be there in 2024.
You think he'll have a new job, or he's going to get fired?
I think he'll get fired. The Texas LSU game could build into one. Over time, that one could build into a real rivalry. If Texas, they're also talking about Georgia doesn't play Vandy in Missouri next year, or in 2024. And they'll have to go. I think they're, and I don't know who their quote permanent games are, but yeah. So Georgia doesn't have Vandy and Missouri on the schedule anymore. But although I'll have to say Missouri has beat Georgia several times. So
yeah, Georgia was like, "We're not taking that L. Not happening.
We're not going to do
Yeah,
that.
I wonder like how much influence the sports administrators at the schools have in these decisions.
I'm beginning. Yeah, here's the funny thing. I'm not sure how much they do because you heard no hype or anything. One of the things I tell you, here's the controversy in Georgia right now among fans and really probably Kirby Smart, who's the coach. In 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I can't remember which one it was. Anyway, Georgia reinstalled a massive light system at Sanford Stadium. It has all the LEDs, can take it down to nothing, bring it back up like a concert. Okay, it's been used several times, but it premiered for the most part when Georgia played Notre Dame at night in Athens. I was there. It was phenomenal. It was amazing. Alabama was upset because we got to use ours before they got to use theirs. Anyway, since then, and like last year, we technically really had no night games, and we had like one or so the year before. We're moving away from night games in Athens, and the sort of the word on the street is that Kirby doesn't like night games, so he tries to schedule the 3 o'clock game or the 12 o'clock game. He'd rather play those games and not the night game. Fan perspective, they love the night games.
I was gonna say, man, stop taking things away from the fans. The NFL already does that. Don't let college coaches dictate what time the games are.
Well, the thing saving it right now is Kirby has 2 back-to-back national titles and going to be competing for a third. So right now, there are not many people going to be upset. But it is, amazing. No, they spent like $2 million or some $1 million on this light system, and literally it didn't even use it last year.
He said they're like, we use the lights. He's like, I don't care. I don't want to play day games. Well, we can't do that. I only want to play days. Well, we can't do that. Well, I have 2 championship rings, so you tell me what you want to do. Yeah, he could just walk. Like that's the power of these coaches. The unreasonable people of Louisiana would tear that stadium limb from limb. Football season. I say he's gonna preview our football season. I'm, hey, and then the NFL is right. Wait, is the NFL right before or the week after? Right. Listen, I don't care what they do. As long as I have football on a Saturday or Sunday, like I've been thinking about how horrible these next few weeks are going to be because the Mets are garbage. And I know they just got their walk-off win and that was great, but I can't, hope for that every week. And every time they see the Atlanta Braves, they turn into water and just puddle. Like
Well, you don't even know how to cheat right.
I said that. That's funny because you sent me that, and I was like, the Mets
Yeah.
can't even cheat correctly. Like, it's so silly that they cheated twice now, and whatever you want to call it cheating. The Scherzer one I don't call cheating. They went through extensive research, and basically that ump just was being a jerk. But realistically,
Okay,
as much as I like baseball, I don't care. Like baseball in New York and New Jersey is very different than out here. Like people care about it out there. I haven't heard a person talk about baseball out here once. I'm trying to go to a Rangers game to see how the stadium is. Yeah, and we just lost Jacob deGrom. The only good thing about the Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers Stadium is nice. It's really nice. You ought to go out there.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet because I know it was
I'd go
built,
at night.
So.
I wouldn't go sit through a day game.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna try to melt.
Yeah, you don't melt at a baseball game. That's miserable. Sitting and I also one of the reasons for night games in football in the SEC is you don't want to sit in 95-degree weather in a stadium.
No.
It's just when you can do it at night. Before we go, though, I do have a positive note to send out after we've griped about celebrations and everything else. I do have to say the funny story came out just the other night. The Kansas City Chiefs had their ring ceremony to get their second ring, and Coach Andy Reid came out and he was with his wife. He had he didn't have either one of the rings on. And one of the reporters asked him about it. And he said, why don't you wear any rings? And he flashed his hand up. And he had his wedding band on. He said, this is my Super Bowl ring. That's all I need. So, guys, if you want to take a note from a Super Bowl winning coach on life experiences with your bride, there is a good one to start with right there.
The real question is, what did Andy Reid do wrong?
Yeah, but knowing Andy Reid, I think that was just
what did Andy Reid do wrong before he left the house that day?
I think I just pure Andy Reid. I really do.
No, he's the man.
He's a good one. All right. Well, folks, I mean, we got lots to cover. I mean, there's just so much more we can dig into. Next week or the week, we're going to have to get into this Vegas and A's thing. We talk about a just royal crap show out there. We got to deal with that. Got some more stuff coming up in the weeks ahead. Be with us. Start sharing the podcast. Go to the folks that you know. Share with us. We've got Friday's Finest. We've got all kinds of guests during and also special episodes on Mondays and Wednesdays. Look forward to seeing you back here next time. But for now, James, say goodbye.
Take care, everybody.
All right, we're out of here. Friday's Finest is over. See you next week. See you.